Hi friends, Toya here at Toya Talks, and today I'm here to talk with you about something a little more serious and that's not always talked about but is extraordinarily important, and that is the issue of domestic violence and child abuse. And the reason that I wanted to film this video now is because, especially right now with the pandemic going on, it is crucial that we all understand that this is a domestic crisis that we have going on right in our own communities and our own neighborhoods. And it's extraordinarily important that we look out for each other. A few months ago, I checked out a Netflix documentary. Some of you may have seen it. It was about a little boy named Gabriel Fernandez. Now, if you have not seen it, I will warn you now, it is extraordinarily hard to watch and it is very graphic. So I'm warning you now before you go check it out. However, when I watched that show, not only was I horrified by what they'd done to this little boy, and just, some of the failures of the system, but I always wondered when I watched it, where were the neighbors? Did no one hear, that something was happening? Yes, calls had been made to the police previously, but I just wonder if there had been more community involvement, if there had been more people that were vigilant and looking out for this little boy, that maybe there could have been a different outcome. And I think we're so used to just assuming that somebody else is going to do it. Somebody else will notice. Somebody else will make the call. We don't want to get involved. But the reality is that it's up to us. Once you become aware, you're responsible. And, as a nurse, I'm a mandated reporter. Teachers are mandated reporters. But now, especially in this time of crisis, everyone needs to be a mandated reporter. We all need to stick together and look out for each other. Pay attention to what's going on in your neighborhood. Sometimes we think, I don't want to interfere in somebody else's family, or, what if I'm wrong? At the end of the day, if you have a gut feeling that there's something that's off, it's better to be safe than sorry. And just because you make a phone call doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to immediately take that child. But at least someone coming and checking out the situation and making sure that everything is cool, that would be much better than the alternative, which could be devastating for that child or family. I've also been hearing stories from a couple friends that I know that, landlords have been getting an increase in domestic violence calls. So, this is occurring. And I want to let everyone know that domestic violence hotlines are still operational. The child abuse hotline is still operational. You can go on the website. I'll post links in the description for the child abuse hotline as well as the domestic violence hotline. Both of them also have chat options, I believe. So if you really want to stay anonymous, you can send a chat. Sometimes people are worried like, they'll find out that it was me. You can send a chat and say that you have a concern. Now, hear me clearly. I am not asking you to put yourself at risk. Please do not interfere in terms of going to try to intervene yourself if you hear something that is disturbing. But what I really, really don't want you to do is nothing. I don't want you to hear something or see something that gives you that feeling in the pit of your gut that it's not right or something doesn't sound right, but you just turn your music up or you tune it out because you tell yourself it's none of your business. And at the end of the day, we have to get away from that mentality. We have to get away from the idea that it's none of our business what happens to the families and the children and the women in our community, that it's none of our business what happens in our neighborhoods. It is our our business. Just because it's not occurring in our household, it affects us if it's in our community. And we have a responsibility to speak up for the people that can't speak up for themselves. At the end of the day, the child who is being abused, they can't advocate for themselves. The woman who is being abused, she may be in a position where she can no longer find her voice to advocate for herself. You have to be that voice, and not in a way that puts yourself at risk, but in a way that still looks out for your fellow neighbor. So that's kind of all I have today, guys. I just really wanted to put this out because I'd been hearing more and more just about the domestic violence concerns, the child abuse concerns, and just knowing how much of a decrease the call lines have been getting since this pandemic. And it really scares me. It really worries me when I think of all of the children, all of, the women that are in situations that are unsafe. And how can we help? And right now, the only hope that they have is us. They are depending on us to listen out for them and to make the call to do what's right. So, like I said, check out the links in the description if you have any questions. I'll also post 2 great informational articles that I found about domestic violence and the signs of that, as well as signs of child abuse, just so that you could read a little bit more into it. So guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope that, if you do see anything in your community, that you will speak up, that you won't be silent, because I honestly think that's the worst thing that we can do. And Martin Luther King said the time is always right to do right. So I hope this helps. I hope you guys are all staying well and safe in your homes as we continue to ride out this pandemic. I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.